Greetings all. Hope you've been well. Okay, I had a request, and I'm going to cover a vlog on the topic they wanted me to cover real quick, and just share a bit of what's been going on recently, and I'll be on my way. So, the request was in regards to these New Age channelers. They're becoming more popular now. They're popping up more and more as people are starting to, enlighten themselves and look into alternative media and other forms of information and communication. If you're unfamiliar with what a channeling is, it's basically a message that is channeled through a human from some sort of divine source. The gods are often referenced, the Titans, lots of mythological entities, and some channels even claim to be from transmissions from light ships and beam ships, such as they call it in the New Age community. So, basically what they wanted me to cover was, is there any credibility to these channels? Is there any, proof of what they say is going to happen or is happening? And here's where I have to say your discernment comes in. I started looking into channelings around 2010, and there's lots of different sources, Sheldon Neidl, Daryl Anka, Bashar. There's lots of different people now who are starting to go mainstream claiming they channel these entities and this information. So, the best thing I can tell you is to look for the channels that are offering relevant information. Channels that don't ramble on about the same thing over and over. NESARA is one of these things. You can look into that. It's all capitals, N-E-S-A-R-A. It's supposed to be some type of abundance program that's coming. And a lot of the New Age channelers have gotten behind it. I am skeptical at best of it because I have, I don't just limit myself to New Age study. I take New Age study and I compare it to my studies of politics, my studies of banking institutions and finance. And NESARA seems so far-fetched to me, I don't see it happening the way a lot of these New Agers are saying it's going to happen. And a lot of these channelers, they give dates, They'll say, oh, by next spring, this will be happening. This will be installed and happening. And a lot of these promises they give you, they never come to fruition. The dates on our calendars go by and nothing's happened like they say it was going to happen. And of course, they always offer some kind of excuse for that. So that's another thing to look for. If they're listing exact calendar dates, you should be skeptical of them, because a true entity outside of, a material body and a truly divine source is not limited to a singular perception of time. They will not give any linear time calendar dates because they do not exist in this realm. They simply know what is going to happen. They don't know when it will happen within linear time unless they are part of the same cabal that's making it happen. So, that said, they also wanted me to give some examples, of some channels I think are legit. So, one of these is Kryon. Now, a lot of people have their own perceptions of Kryon, the entity, K-R-Y-O-N. You can look him up if you like. Myself, I think it offers some valid information. Probably the highest recommended channeler I would recommend to anybody is Syrian Archangel Hermes. This channel, I feel, offers great information. Every time he's channeled, and I've watched it or heard it, the information is concurrent with my current experiences and metaphysical and physical studies. It talks about, linear time. It talks about terraforming. It talks about a lot of things the other channels don't even come close to talking about. And just recently, a message came out yesterday, the 20th, and it was talking about how the solar eclipse is going to result in a lot of people's consciousness awakening. And it also said that there might be a large solar flare to come within the next few days. And so what happens today? There's a large solar flare, an M8.9 solar flare. So the channel accurately predicted a solar flare. Now, how many other channels can you say have done that? Not many, if any. And I have to say that was quite an eye-opener for me, because you can banter on about this and that all you want, but facts speak for themselves. So, highly suggested channel. The information is always good. It's pretty complex. I mean, if you're a novice into the New Age and the material therein, you might be lost right away. So, I only recommend it for, philosophers and well-educated New Age scholars. But the information is concurrent with my scientific studies. Another thing that was fascinating about it, it was talking about the Ebola virus and how these horror stories about, you know, zombies rising from the dead because of Ebola have some credibility to it. And then it goes on to talk about the virus is alive. You know, it's not sentient like a human being would think it is, but it is a virus. It is a form of life. And forms of life know how to survive. They'll do anything they can to survive. And it said that when this virus integrates with the human body, so does the human body integrate with the virus. And that when the virus has infiltrated the brain, the virus becomes capable of learning. So, and given my scientific studies, everybody, their science is there. And that's the thing about conspiracy is everyone thinks it's science fiction and so far out there until you have the time to research it and look at the science behind it, and then you see how real it really could be. So, again, this channel just covers fascinating material. I feel it's light years ahead of the other channels right now, and I hope I don't offend anybody or any other channelers by saying that. But honestly, wherever this information is coming from, this is the truth, everybody. This is real shit going on, and you should check it out. Lastly, I wanted to cover a quick topic about technology. You know, as this great burst in technology continues to occur worldwide, you're going to be seeing more people seeking employment because all the labor needs are going to be eventually met by these machines. The only people that are left on this planet are going to be people who can do things beyond physical labor, who are able to create things with their ideas and their creative power. And it ties right into the New World Order agenda, depopulation. They only want people that are, intellectuals left. They only want creative people. And sadly, a lot of people lack the education and they lack the creative tools, Once they get into school encourages creativity to an extent, but it also encourages indoctrination. So, it's really fascinating. I saw an article the other day about how an entire janitorial crew was going to be eliminated due to these machines. And I used to be a janitor at one time myself, and if you know anything of metaphysical or occult lore, you know that janitors know things. I remember an episode of The Big Bang Theory where the Russian janitor was there, and he knew this complex equation that Sheldon didn't know. And, it just makes that bell go off in my mind. It's that invisible entity talking to me. And me and very few can hear it, but it's there. And it's getting stronger every day. Open yourselves to it. If you can see the upcoming solar eclipse, I highly recommend you watch it. It's going to be partly cloudy here. I'm hoping to get a patch where I can see it, because this is going to be one of the prime areas to view it. And I'm looking very forward to it and seeing what might happen. I will link you to this channel that I highly recommend to you, because this information is really good stuff. And I honestly feel that intellectuals and New Age scholars should be checking it out. So I guess that's it for now, everyone. I love you all very much. And I hope you enjoy the solar eclipse, and be safe and be smart and be well.